There.
Mark, after the Minnesota game, you guys did a lot of good things on the ground, and the opposition's been different as you go, but is that part of having a young offensive line that sometimes the traction might not continue? Would you agree with that? Every week is a new week?
Every week's a new week. Every week we face, different opponents, how they try to do things structurally and how physical they may be, blitzes, etc. We try to dial up the runs that we feel will work. Should we stay on our block? Should the running back hit the hole correctly? Should the tight end kick out or stay on his block? Should the wide receivers get their blocks? I mean, it's all a collective unit. And up front, we need to be better.
That includes tight ends, wide receivers.
It's everybody. The run game's everybody, just like the pass game's everybody. And you hear about it when the sacks are given up or when a pressure happens, but you get no credit when it's going good in the pass game. So it's everybody, and we know that. So Dave's been doing a good job calling plays, and T. Sam's got those young receivers and his older ones, doing as best they can, and we'll just keep working at it.
Were there a couple times when you called, I think it was power, when to the tight end side, whether it were Sokol or Chase over there, where 97 or defensive end kind of penetrated that?
This last game?
Yes.
Yeah, there's things that we need to work on with that. Yeah, there's things where our feet weren't correct at the tight end position, or our weight was not balanced correctly, and all that stuff matters.
So then the pull guard that's going, he gets caught up, and then his track gets messed up because of the tight end block on the front side.
Correct. It's all got to go together. It can't be 1 out of 6 screws it up, because in the run game, 1 out of 6 screws it up, whether it be the back, tight end, whatever it is, a wide receiver on a crack. Then it's a faulty play.
You tries to go to David Beadle at left guard as a starter this past week. I know you're rotating all 3 of those guys, but what kind of went into that?
It's a 3-man rotation, and Dave was ready to go. He had played quite a bit the time before, and just trying to get them all. And they did not get equal reps, and that was just how the rotation worked. The agreement was, going in, that we had certain things in agreement that they all should have things have worked out. They all would have gotten equal reps. And we didn't mess with the rotation, and it ended up that the young buck and David got more reps.
Is that kind of similar to what you guys are doing in tackle?
Yeah,
right now?
it's very similar to tackle, but we're not giving as many reps away there to the third. We'd like to, but like I've said to you guys many times, it's how the week progresses, and I've become much better understanding that Thursdays aren't going to be like Thursdays were 2 years ago. Fridays in walkthrough aren't going to be like Fridays were even last year, because every day they're learning, they're adjusting, they're figuring it out, and then by Saturday we got to be on.
So what does it mean for them? More film room time?
Just understanding, just seeing things, just learning the curve. Because you think about it, I was having a long talk with their starting tight end the other day. He was, we bumped into each other in one evening. He was watching film, and he said, "Well, I'm a 4th-year player." I said, "You're a 1st-year player." Because technically, yeah, he's in his 4th year here, but he was seldom used before. And before that, he was on the scout team a little bit. He was redshirted, and then he was a quarterback, And so he can say he's a 4th-year player, but truthfully, the lessons all come when you're able to go out there in the battle. And you can train and train and train, but until you get out there during a game, the things aren't quite as real.
You can't teach experience, but Kevin Jarvis, you've said before you're never satisfied. So for a guy that's never satisfied, are you pretty close with how?
No, not yet. He knows that. We discussed it. We had a real nice conversation Saturday, just after lunch. Everybody gone. He and I were just sitting there, and I make sure that I convey to him how special this opportunity is, and with the things that he is doing have only been done 2 other times, and only one time, in the capacity that he's doing it, and he's it. Brian had 1 start his freshman year, and Theo played a little bit last year. Those are the only other 2 times. So he's getting there. He knows that. He wants to so badly, but like I said, the library, the things they have to know and understand is enormous. And the more you do it, the better you become. And he used to be able to just grab a guy and twist him and put him down, or take one hand and throw a guy down, and that doesn't work. And so sometimes he reverts back. He's getting so much better. Excited about it.
He talks about enjoying your coaching. Is it fun to have a especially a young player that doesn't think he's all that?
Well, they all think in the back of their mind they're little all that, you know. So that's a wicked question. You know, but they have to be in order to play, and then to do it as a freshman. He is a joy to coach. He enjoys it. He likes the camaraderie of the room. He and I have a nice, you know, back and forth. And with youth, you know, and with, you know, especially on game days, they don't want to screw up. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, the young people, they don't want it. They don't want it to go back. So if I lose my mind and go off on them, well, then now they screwed up. They didn't want to screw up. I just lost my mind on it. How am I going to teach them? You know, it's all educating, all trying to push them forward. So November, we're prepared to win a championship, and we still are in. I know none of you believe it, but we are still in contention.
Coach, getting to this week's opponent, what stands out to you about Penn State?
I think Penn State, you see a very, very good defense. They give up less than 14 points a game. You see a lot of the same guys that you saw last year. So there's a lot of familiarity to some of our guys that have played that played in the game last year, and understanding as last year went that we need to finish, because in the first half we have 4 drives that should we have finished, should this one mistake not have happened, this other mistake, then you're looking at minimum 20 points and not 12. And so there's a confidence in that, not a cockiness, but a confidence that, hey, they've been there before and they've done it before, and what are they going to do now? So,
Mark, you mentioned that
We can do ringtones.
nobody believes, you know, whoever believes you can or can't win, but this program's made a practice of, in big games, when maybe people outside of here are saying you can't win, have come through routinely and won those
also
sort
inside
of
of here,
games.
so you don't have to
Yeah,
say
but
just
I mean,
outside of here.
What is it about this program that is able to do that regularly?
I think the biggest thing that it's just a belief. Like, no one knows what goes on in beyond these walls except for us. You know, inside. I mean, inside the walls. You know, beyond going that way, and there's a confidence and there's a camaraderie, and it is a family. And you know, and we've done a great job this year from top to bottom. You know, when an edge starts to fray, making sure it gets tightened back up. And, you know, the lessons through loss sometimes serve better than those through a win. And I like how we responded the last time we lost this year. And I know the guys are preparing themselves to respond the same way.
Just one last one for me. Speaking of responding, you know, these guys know how big of a game this is, but what's been your message to the team when you're talking to the guys this week?
I think the biggest message that I've been, whether it was up in front of the offense the other day or to my guys, is that understand together we go. And it's got to be everybody. And, you know, talking to the running backs, you know, and just saying, hey, this is a challenge, not only you to yourself, but also who's running the ball for them. You know what I mean? You gauge yourself on that. You know, who's opening the holes and making big plays. You know, who is doing, you know, in all of that, there's a sense of pride. And so constantly just talking about pride. And also talking about, hey, there's enough guys on this team that have done it before. And there's some guys that have a chance to do it 3 times. And knowing what it takes. And we've been there. And this is the last 2 Big Ten champions facing off in Spartan Stadium. So that's pretty awesome. That's a testament to them.
What do you see in that Penn State defensive front? They've got
Strong, big, move around a lot, quick, explosive. You know, hopefully he gets better sometime later on this month. But you know, 97's dinged up, so you know, some youth there as well. And with youth comes some mistakes. But defensively, mistakes can happen, and they end up in the right hole, or they end up. Now, also mistakes can happen. It can happen the other way. You know, so. We're hoping that more happen that way, but just a very sound front. A lot of zone pressures, some man pressures. They like to move around. It seems like they started that MO last year in our game at about the second quarter, and they've continued it throughout. So we're getting ready for it.
You look at the guys that are coming up next. I mean, who's kind of looked good on scout teams, and guys that you think, okay, next year maybe this is someone, or even later this year.
Well, AJ just came back, so that's exciting. That's positive. So he's back out there. You know, yesterday he was chomping at the bit, and I said, "You said November." He said, "It is November." I said, "No, it's October 31st, AJ." And he started laughing. And, you know, but it was nice to see him out there. He's up in the upper 280s. That's good to see. Youth-wise, you know, Mustafa has been doing a really, really good job. You know, he's been up on the one field. Matt Allen, you haven't seen him in games as much, but he's doing a really good job running that second offense at the center position, also moving out to guard some. You know, across the board, you know, we've got some guys that are battling, and we talk about it in our room all the time that, you know, there's some other guys, the Padlas of the world, the Finleys of the world, the Shrams of the world, guys like that have put all the work in, and you'd love to be able to give them, you know, a taste, but that's up to us as ones. You know, we've got to make sure that the game's in hand in order to, and, you know, whether or not that happens in the near future, I can't tell you. I'd love to predict that. But, you know, they all work hard. That was one of the big things that their defense said was our scout team did such a great job in blocking the run game last week that they were able to stop Northwestern's rush attack, unlike they were able to the year before.
When A.J.R. Curry, I think last spring he was close to being in the mix or something like that. You can correct me if I'm wrong. How long until maybe he gets back to that level?
You know, I don't know yet. You know, I mean, he hasn't any live reps. He hasn't any, you know, so it's just nice to see him out. He's got a big smile on his face. He's excited. It's, you know, I mean, what trauma and drama that he had to go through, you know, and that part in itself, you know, was scary at times, but, you know, he's bounced back and he's got the clearance from his doctors.
Were you the big bad wolf yesterday?
Yes, I was. It was fun. It was, I had grandma's outfit on and the biggest damn nightie you've ever seen, and ran around with my little bonnet and had a good day. When you
So
have,
you were
you know, when
big
you
bad-
have young kids, you know what I mean, they like to, you know, enjoy that.
You were the
as
big
do
bad wolf in disguise.
His grandma, yeah, waiting for Little Red Riding Hood.
Did the
Hopefully
cell
Little
phone
Blue
go off?
Riding.
Did
No,
Grandma
cell,
Logan, was that
no,
yours?
it was not. Grandma Logan was not mine.
Did you scare anyone around town pumping gas?
No, I didn't do any of that. I kept it low key, so wore it till about practice time.
Players give you a hard time with that?
Oh, they loved it. They cheered.